Welcome back, boys and girls. This week was Rome week, pretty much. I've been doing replay after replay of Rome, so welcome back with Linksy, another replay of Rome. As you can see out right off the bat, it is an irregular, perhaps, replay. A couple of troops right off the bat: swordmen, British slingers, yada yada yada. A horde of mobs defending the center from Egypt over there, and a few cavalry, a few chariots, a few more. Oh, there were Lusitana nobles as well. Few cavalry, a couple of hundred elephants, a couple hundred more cav. Let's get straight to it. So it seems it is a 4v4. There are Lusitanis, Iceni, Egyptians, and Massagetae defending versus Goti, it seems. The rise of the Empire divided. Macedon, and over here Galatia and Pontus. Right off the bat, charging up with chariots, guerrilla warriors, engaging the Thorax swordsmen, getting bombarded by the artillery point blank. The Iberian ballista doing some work over there. These poor Lusitanian guerrillas fighting head on against the Thorax swordsmen, getting a few kills, but these chariots, if they do get in, and in fact they are getting in back from here, we have to keep an eye on the other side as well. If these chariots do manage to get in without the Pila being thrown into their rear, oh, this is going to be brutal. They're just gonna charge in, and that's it. That's it. Yes, this is done. Gone. Absolutely gone. Amount of times I've seen chariots just annihilate on this map. Pila being thrown on the guerrilla warriors, who have very little armor, but their melee defense is something to not be scoffed at. These chariots are doing beautiful damage over there. Artillery getting a good shot into those pikemen, but over on this side, the elephants just charging straight through those Germanic axe, and now they're about to face these Germanic axe warriors over here. Pilas are being thrown. A couple of elephants die right off the bat. These guys are a really strong unit. Nothing, again, to be scoffed at, but they don't really stand a chance against the volume of elephants that are running through. These elephants already getting a few dozen kills, and these Germanic axe warriors are getting distracted while more elephants are coming in from the rear. The chariots over here, 200 kills, and are being routed because these Taurus spears getting a really good shot into their side by the artillery, but now these chariots just smash through that, absolutely ruining. These Taurus spears are down. Their numbers are just flying down. They're down to half strength, and this chariot is just having the time of its life, just going through all of these Taurus swordsmen. So that army over there is not doing well. The Pontic army and the Galatian army are trying to break in, and they're doing their best to get into the city, since almost all of the defenders are focused on taking out the Gotii and the Macedonian army over there. These pikemen moving forward, but they're gonna get slaughtered by these Iberian slingers, which have a really good shot in on them. There's no support almost whatsoever. These longbow hunters shooting in. Are these the Macromandi or the Gotii? I can't really say. Germanic noble bodyguard. It looks, could be either. Now the Saka noble cavalry charging in, and these guys have Draco, which breaks the it removes the bonus versus large to 0, and they're getting hundreds of kills. The elephants, even though berserk, just routing off everything off the field, hundreds of kills, just a slaughter fest going on, and so much cav is still available, and there are still chariots. Oh, these chariots are almost 400 kills in, and there are still more chariots ready to just ruin the life of the Thorax swordsman. The defense really are holding their own. Now keep in mind, the balance of power is not in favor of the defense whatsoever. It's in favor of the attackers, but that is mostly based due to the numbers. The Saka cavalry cleaning up the rest of the troops. The guerrilla warriors taking the interest of the pikemen and the Taurus spears, hoplites of the Macedonian troops over there. Elephants just running down any survivors. Germanic axe warriors not having a good time. Pikemen getting into formation just in the nick of time, but the elephants are just surrounding them, and even though they're gonna get a few kills, their formation is completely busted by the elephants over there. There's still more reserves ready to come in and hold the line. The hoplites charged in through the gate, but the oil killing over 60 of them straight off the bat over there. Pikemen on the wall. Not the smartest idea from Pontus. You don't really want pikemen to get on top of the walls. Neither do you want your horse charging in through the oil. You do not want that. That horse unit is not gonna go home. Those horse units, both of them, very heavily, severely damaged over there. Getting down to 73 and 55 men. Over here, the cavalry is running through these men. I apologize, I made a mistake. These are the Macromandi, because otherwise they would have the armored Germanic archers, which are just insane to break. 400 kills on these African pikemen. African elephants. The pikemen over here getting a few kills, but it's a bit too late. The cavalry coming in. More Saka cav. How's the Saka cav doing over here? Cycle charging in, 200 kills. That's going to be absolutely beautiful. More cav over here. The army finally coming in. It's beelining for the center. That's not gonna go well. The Celtic cav could probably break most of this. The Iceni player pulled back, but cavalry is going to be desperately needed to try and hold off this mad dash by Galatia towards the center. In fact, they're just sending all of their troops inside because they realize they have no hope at all outside of the settlement. Hordes of Galatian legionnaires streaming in, Celtic warriors, everyone's just running towards the city. Scutari cav running in around, and elephants still going. The foot companions, no rear charge by that Saka cavalry. That general has seen better days. The berserkers here are running away. Yeah, these are the Macromandi because of the berserkers. Running away full speed ahead with an elephant. No matter how angry you are, you cannot kill an elephant which is angrier than you. Heroic riders are doing their job as well. It seems most of the Macedonian army has been cleaned up. The Macromandi army is just a few remnants of units here and there left, and now the scout riders and are moving in to try and help clean up the rest. There's still chariots with the 451 kills. That's ridiculous. And the chariots would do massacres, untold massacres over here. Levy Freeman, couple Britain slingers, it's pretty much in sword bands. So these are very cheap melee units. There's not any nobles. I mean, they'll hold. They're a decent unit. They have 77 melee defense, 45 armor, 64 attack. So they will do damage, yes, but cavalry needs to be brought in. In fact, Scutari cav. Balearic slingers running into support. Elephants are being brought in to help and support. The berserkers over here caught by the elephants, and these guys have been shattered, and there's no hope for them. They're just being run down. These elephants still just hundreds of kills. It seems they had trample on, and the scout rider, the heroic riders here are just cleaning up their shop. Saka noble cav over there still alive. This Saka cav over here is doing very well. The hoplites have been cleaned up by the guerrilla warriors, and it seems now the fight is going to be turned towards this side. These Celtic warriors were cleaned up by the chariots. Complete massacre over there by those units. The Levy Freeman on the wall, still holding the wall really effectively. Pontus really needs to just charge in and needs to charge in and just break in here. There's no chance to dilly-daddle. They need to capture the center and force the game to end. I mean, I understand why Galatia is shooting its missiles into the Lusitania nobles, but needs to have its peel from the legionaries going in. See, at this point, they're just defending themselves in a choke point. They're really just trying to hold in all the troops that are being sent against them. Some archers are left. Balearic Slingers just shooting to their heart's content, it seems, here, and killing these Galatian swords really easily. The Syrian archers are no match for the Balearic Slingers. I mean, the Balearic Slingers will lose a couple of men, but really and truly, these Syrian archers are gonna... Ooh, that was a really quick shot. Okay, getting the first shot, they got a few dozen kills, but look at that. And we're back. Sorry about that. It's been happening often. Rome just crashes halfway through the game for some weird reason, and it just makes it just annoying. But anyway, we were talking about how the Slingers, for you, it's just few minutes, like Thanos second, where for me it was like 10 minutes of waiting. Anyway, we were talking about the Slingers. This is a really good trade. The Slingers over here are just getting absolutely shredded, really fast, really effectively, and it's going well. On the other side over here, these Celtic Light Horse were cleaned up really effectively, quickly. Unfortunately, this mob might get damaged. The city's people are just about to pick up their shanks and charge in. These Celtic warriors don't stand a chance whatsoever. Slingers shooting down these other Eastern Slingers and doing a terrible massacre over there. In fact, these East Syrian archers do fall back, and it seems they did win the charge over there. Elephants coming in through the rear, and these Galatian swords did lose a few men, but these elephants are gonna get their charge, and they have trample on, so these poor Galatian swords are not gonna be having a good time. Lots of archers are being used to shoot them down, and that's absolutely fine. They did break that Galatian swords, and that softened up the target for the heroic riders, for the British scout riders, and the chariots to go in. The foot companions is still being picked off slowly by the Saka cavalry, and there's still a pike unit over there. So there are still some units out here which are being picked off slowly, one by one, and there are some units back in the distance which are doing their thing. The elephants breaking through and charging into the main line. 600 kills on these elephants. How do I know 600 kills? Because they're charging straight into the mass again. 614. And it's just ripping through those men. Doing a beautiful job over there of holding the line. Troops over here charging in, and the Pontic Cav coming in as well, but the Pontic Cav needed to charge in early. A rear charge into these mob would have given it so many kills. Pontic Cav charging into that sword ban, breaking it, but it needs to be cycle charging into this mob. I do not see a chance where the attackers can win this whatsoever. The army that's left for the defense is ridiculously strong, and they did manage to set the Macedonian and the Macedonian the Germanic tribe didn't slow down the defense enough outside the settlement for it to be effective, and the troops over here are getting slaughtered. Those pikemen are not gonna have a good time over there. Hoplites, the Slingers are getting taken out really easily by Scutari Cav. It seems the attackers are losing everything. These guys are getting hundreds of kills because they're fighting bloody mob, but again, shock cavalry, they had an opening here. They could just charge in, and the Pontic cavalry could break this mostly in seconds. Pontic sword, yeah, they're trying to build a line of defense. Pikemen over here, how many kills? It was like 20, that's 154. And they'll be routed out, and the guys out there will hold their line. These Lusitanian nobles have been chewed down to almost a nothing over there, and the general over here is doing the same, keeping those guys at bay. The elephant still rocking, 631 kills. It's slightly glitched out and doing its thing. The chariot is managing to get through, and this is going to be the end of this force. These chariots are just marching their way in, 300 kills, but it's just about to get a lot more higher. They're running through the Syrian archers, and even though the noble horse are running after it, these troops are dead. 333 kills. Yeah, this is just a wipeout. The Lusitanian nobles over there have won, but over here they're losing decisively. The poor mob over here is struggling to fight against these Pontic swordsmen who are getting hundreds of kills, which you would expect to happen in a situation like that. They're literally fighting just a trash unit, which costs how much? 10 gold? 40 gold? I keep forgetting how much it costs. These Iberian slingers are charging in because these guys are about to mass rout. Again, I would have just charged in my cav. This would have happened earlier. I mean, these guys, hundreds of kills, just cleaning that up straight off the bat. These guys are still running and chasing and killing whatever they can. These scout riders getting into the settlement. Chariots were killed. Yeah, 400 kills. Yeah, they were cleaned up, but there's not much left for them to fight. Noble Saka cavalry coming in, and they're going to get a rear charge into this mess that is happening over here. These Pontic swords finally charging through and killing quite a lot of these mobs. Unfortunately, the mob ended up being routed in mass. Okay, it seems the defense is actually losing all of a sudden. Balance of power is being rushed again in favor of the attackers, and the defense have lost the entire core. The center is captured. We know it's not getting captured soon because the amount of time left is indicative that it's not the case, but this is going to be difficult to break through this. If they do capture the center and hold the line long enough, it might work. Ptolemaic have managing to get in. Oh, they managed to get in from a gap left by the pikemen, which were not in a good position. It's too late now, man. You have cavalry from both sides, and you're not going to last long. Scout riders trying to probably get their peel off, and the general isn't behind the lines, but just ruining the formation of those pikemen, pulling out from that area. Guerrilla warriors charging in, getting a nice pila shot into the side of those Pontic swords, and maybe even these slingers can start firing over there. 200 kills on those Lusitani. Nobusaka cavalry charging in at every angle it can find, doing the damage it can. Considering how thinned these troops are, it's going to not be a fun thing for them. So these Galatian swords are dead, and if they get a rear charge on this, that would be the same. These Syrian archers are not having a good time over there. Veteran riders cleaning up the mess they can find, killing left, right and center indiscriminately. Britain slingers coming in and doing their damage, and the troops over here are firing. Oh Jesus. Ooh. Troops here over firing and killing whatever they can. Pontic swords are shooting in the back, and the center has not been capped by that because of the guerrilla warrior, which is sacrificing itself. And these slingers are actually getting really good shots into these general unit and these Pontic swords from the side. These heroic riders general coming in to support the guerrilla warriors, which is doing its best to hold the line. Guerrilla warriors 199 kills. All the defense units are really doing well. It seems the assault over here has been pushed back. The Saka cavalry, some of them are doing really well. I mean, we're talking 3 chevrons, right? They have 3 gold chevrons, 75 melee attack, and then they have 63 charge bonus. They have decent melee defense as well, very good armor, very good health, and a very good base morale. So the charge is going in. This charge is going to be really useful as it will finish the Syrian archers. It could also finish all these troops. And the Saka general is sacrificing himself, buying time for the center to do as much damage as possible. Pilas being thrown from the cavalry. The pikemen are going down slowly. Guerrilla warriors here are chewing through these hoplites, and this unit might... Wait, is this unit... No, this unit is barely in formation. This unit is barely in formation. Forcing units to get into the formation they need to be in. Pity the artillery still doesn't... it doesn't still have ammunition, because it could break this easily in killing all of these men. very effectively. Unfortunately, this guy, the Saka Noble Cavalry over there, Noble Lancers, Saka Noble Armored Lancer, jeez, that was difficult to talk about. Didn't do so well. Not so well whatsoever. Guerrilla Warriors charging in, and these Galatians are breaking. Pontics are breaking over there. Slingers are firing into the rear. They got a really good shot over there, and if this breaks, these pikemen break, which are about to break, the Ptolemaic Cav manages to get a charge in slightly. It's pushing in. Yeah, they found the gap and it's pushing in. Now that is not really a push through in terms of Cav, because it did get a gap, and it's just charging into the Pontic Royal Cavalry over there, and Saka Lancers as well coming in, and they're just shooting left, right and center, doing a lot of damage, just running amok in the rear. A charge into the rear of these hoplites. These hoplites are not going to be having fun. The Pontic General over here is going down slowly. The Egyptian general, fortunately, is about to die, but these troops are breaking. This is exactly what was necessary in this situation. Troops are breaking, so all of this can come in and do the remainder of the damage. These British slingers are holding the line. Saka armored lancers coming in again from this side. Slinger fire coming in from both angles, and this is just going to be absolutely brutal. Just insanely brutal. The Egyptian general has been killed, so generals for the defense are falling, but it doesn't look promising for the attackers. Even though they're almost captured the center, they've cleaned up most of the troops of the defense. It's just cavalry left, which is just being cleaned up slowly by these slingers and these lancers. As long as this capture point isn't completely captured, it will be absolutely okay. And that cycle charging into the front of these troops by noble lancers, and these units will break very soon. The Scutari Cav over here panicking, trying to break these units as quickly as possible, which they are breaking, but they need to get through those hoplites as well. Galatia finally managing to send in some reinforcements to the center to hold the line, because the defenses are breaking, are making headway in. Slingers are trying to dodge these guys, and these Galatian legionnaires getting shot in the back by Britain slingers. These hoplites doing their best. The Saka cavalry coming here to just completely annihilate the rear of these hoplites. Another rear charge, and that should be the end of them. They're down to 52 men, and they should be breaking relatively fast. Their troops are falling like flies. These guys getting some pila thrown into them, and the line is being captured. Oh, it's barely being captured. It's being neutralized again. The cavalry charge is coming in, cleaning up these Pontic swords. The remainder of Galatia is coming in to try and hold the center. Cavalry is doing really well, but at the same time, these lancers are getting tired, cycling, charging, and more of them are dropping. The general somehow survived that assault in the center, and more units are breaking. A whole unit of Pontic swordsmen, they're pretty much broken and routing, and now the center is being recaptured. Even though if slightly, the scout riders getting into position to absorb pila shots, throw their own pila, and see what they do. Yeah, they're just throwing their pila, softening up those Galatian legionnaires, while at the same time absorbing the shots that the heavier troops would be able to deal. Actually, do these guys? Yeah, these guys have frenzy charge, which might give them a little bit more strength than otherwise normally. This is a masterclass on how to defend the city using just cavalry. I would like to say that I do notice these scout riders, and they are about to get a lot of kills if they stop and kill all these Pontic troops. Yeah, in fact they are. They're just cleaning up shop over here, getting a few hundred kills. The Iberian slingers over there shooting in as well, and all of these levy freemen getting rear charge, cycle charge, front charge, all the types of charging that is possible. Yeah, the defense is holding somehow. it seems that they're holding relatively well. But again, that is a terrifying number of Galatian legionnaires, and there isn't much left to deal with them. I honestly thought the defense had this, but now the attackers are doing exactly what they needed to do earlier, and that is they captured the center and they routed off the units, and now they're just holding off everything. These Saka Lancers, 534 kills, doing God's work there. These heroic riders are dodging those Syrian archers that are still alive. Veteran riders smashing into the side of those Galatian swords. Heroic riders smashing in as well. The Galatian legionnaires, if they do get in, the Galatian legionnaires throwing all of their pila in, and that pila is just melting all of those horses, which are dying so fast. Generals are charging in, the cavalry charging in, trying to do damage. Iberian slingers being broken by the noble horse over on that side. It does not look pretty for the defense. They need to get one singular charge into this mess. They win, but I don't see them doing it. I don't see them being able to do this. They do not have enough resources left to be able to do so. Again, they're just charging. If they do get a must route, it is entirely possible, but it's difficult. These guys are doing so much damage. Every time they charge, hundreds die, but more and more reserves are being pulled in to try and hold the line. Units that cannot be lost are being lost. The general over here is cleaning up a lot. Galatian swords are cleaning up a massive volume of units. The Galatian swords in the center are actually getting broken by the cycle charges, and they're into those missiles. Those missiles are now into melee mode, and the Saka Noble armored lancers coming in from another charge from the flank, just breaking into over here, getting Draco up, and this unit is a mass rout of the front lines. More units were committed to the center. Some guerrilla warriors came back, and they're just committing the units whatever angle they can. These noble lancers are doing their thing. General is damaged heavily. It seems the general is getting sniped by these Briton slingers. And if the general breaks, the general is broken. So there is chance. The last general was broken, and casualties suffered. And the general is just routing off from over here. These Briton slingers can clean up the general. It will create a very big morale penalty. And damn, these defenders are really fighting tooth and nail. This is a ridiculous game, an absolute ridiculous game. I can see why they wrote meme when they sent it to me. Slingers still trading over here relatively well with what little ammunition they have left. Can I say that you have had it? Then these guys need to be cycle charging in as well, because these Galatian legionnaires are not going to be doing well. General is dead. But I think also for the Britons, the general has died. No, the general is still kicking somewhere. Slingers shooting into the rear of those troops while getting engaged in the front by Galatian legionnaires. Saka noble cavalry coming back in, and they're going to get a really good charge over there if they manage to trigger it. And the charge is coming in into a very loose formation of those Galatian legionnaires. That Galatian legionnaires with almost no melee defense against the charge, no bracing possible. They lose 10 men over there. Galatia is struggling. Galatia is genuinely struggling to hold the ranks. The Scutari Cav doing really well. 300 kills, 75 kills is not so bad. 300 kills for Scutari Cav, which is relatively cheap cav, is really good. The Saka cavalry are down to just 17 men, 16 men just now. General is still doing relatively healthy, but this was not broken. The question is, could they get cavalry back here to smash in? Because it seems they're completely being left open. And Scutari Cav, those Scutari Cav getting in a beautiful charge in those Galatian legionnaires, and this is just an absolute mess. 2 minutes left. Do they have enough to hold? The defense? If they get a few more good charges, this will be absolutely their game. All they need to do is break these legionnaires and it's done. but they're legionnaires, and the defense has lost most of its troops. Scutari aircraft has been broken over there, and the Saka cavalry is really down to its last dregs. I mean, they've gotten hundreds of kills, yes, but you know, when you have 4 units of cav only in your army, it is a tough battle. Right off the bat, Britain's Scout Riders are almost broken. Armelos Penalties, I'm afraid, is going to get triggered. Doesn't look it's going to get triggered for the attackers. It seems the attackers somehow won this. Kudos to the Galatian player who's just holding the line against such an onslaught. Like, I don't know what words to say or what to call it. It seems the center has been captured, and perhaps timer victories are going to happen here. These guys are breaking slowly but surely, but it's taking a lot of time and a lot of resources to do so. These guys are really tired, and it's, you know, it's taking its toll. Galatian Legionnaires blocking that off. The center is being recaptured, but I do not think there is enough time, and it seems the general is about to fall there. And time victory is going to the, yep, I think they won by capturing the center. GG for both teams. Amazing defense, amazing attack as well. Costly enemy victory, yeah. And replay, let's see. So 500 kills on that Saka cav, absolutely. So Zesty, really good, really good use of your cavalry. Essence was the Iceni. We noticed him running after the routing units. Yeah, it is the case, but really good use of your chariots as well. Unfortunately, of course, your units were slaughtered. Really good use of slingers at the end to snipe the general. Dead Ronin, I believe that's captain. His cavalry at the end, Scutari cav, was just doing wonders, trying to recapture the center and do Stalin nobles. Just amazing work. Guerrilla warriors, 200 kills on that. And Ulfir, his elephants. Jesus Christ, your elephants, man. He just had elephants and mob. His elephants doing so much. 600 kills, 400 kills, 500 kills. Beautiful, beautiful game. The great Gamb, yeah, I mean, his troops were just killing mob. Sergeant Wilson holding the line till the end. These are the Makromani. Yeah, the Makromani are Rise of the Empire, I think. Oh, Empire Divided. Yeah, Empire Divided, absolutely. That's the Empire Divided stuff. And Kilson. Yeah, these two guys did not 68 kills. Jesus, these guys were assaulted. And the great Gamb killed, of course, all of these mob. And then Sergeant Wilson holding the line till the end. He still had 4 years of Galatian Legionnaires, and those are just absolutely unstoppable. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. We've got some good stuff coming up. Next Monday, it should be published before Monday. Next Monday, tune in. I'll be hopefully streaming Troy. Thank you to CA for actually giving me a few days head start on the game. I'll be able to give you my opinion, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.